أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh everyone. My name is Muhammad Hanan and I'm foundational and student at Rehan School, Islamabad, Barago campus. So here today I am going to talk with Maya on the simple topic of sorry, not sorry. So Maya, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. I'm ready to dive into the sorry, not sorry side of things with you.
Alright Maya, so my next question is what does the phrase sorry, not sorry mean?
It's basically a way of saying, I know I did something that might be considered wrong or annoying, but I don't actually regret it. It's a bit of a cheeky way to be unapologetic while still acknowledging the social expectation to apologize.
Alright Maya, thank you. So my next question is where did the phrase sorry, not sorry originate?
Let me look into that.
Alright.
It's hard to pin down one exact moment, but it really took off in the 2000s. It gained a lot of momentum around 2010, mostly thanks to social media platforms like Twitter, where that kind of short, punchy sarcasm thrives.
All right, man. Thank you. So my next question is why has sorry, not sorry become so popular in modern culture?
It's likely because it captures that tension between knowing the rules and choosing to ignore them. It fits perfectly into the era of main character energy, where people feel more empowered to be their authentic, sometimes messy selves without feeling the need to constantly apologize for it.
All right, man. Thank you. So my next question is when did people first start using sorry, not sorry?
Wait, PayPal? I'm not sure I follow the connection there. Did you mean something else?
How is sorry, not sorry different from a real apology?
The biggest difference is the intent. A real apology is about repair and regret. You actually want to fix things. Sorry, not sorry is more of a performance. It's a way of standing your ground while poking fun at the idea of apologizing.
All right, man. Thank you. So my next question is when did people first start using sorry, not sorry?
Like I mentioned earlier, it really started gaining ground in the 2000s. It just really exploded around 2010 once Twitter became the place to be for those kinds of quick, sarcastic one liners.
All right, Maya, thank you. So my next question is how has social media influenced the spread of this phrase?
It's basically the perfect environment for it. Social media loves a punchy, ironic vibe. It turns a lack of apology into a kind of brand or a statement, making it easy to share and repeat across different platforms.
All right, Maya, thank you. So my next question is why do people use sorry, not sorry sarcastically?
Because it lets them have their cake and eat it too. It's a way to acknowledge that they're breaking a social norm so they don't look completely clueless, but it also signals that they're perfectly happy with their choice. It's basically a polite way of being impolite.
All right, Maya, thank you. So my next question is sorry, not sorry considered rude?
Generally, yeah, it's all about the context. If you're using it with friends as a joke, it's usually fine. But if you use it after actually hurting someone's feelings, it can come off as dismissive and pretty cold.
All right, Maya, thank you. So my next question is what emotions are usually expressed through this phrase?
It's usually a mix of confidence and defiance. There's often a sense of pride or satisfaction in the action, paired with a little bit of mischief. It's less about sadness and more about that feeling of, yeah, I did it and I'm totally fine with it.
All right, Maya, thank you. So my next question is how does tone affect the meaning of sorry, not sorry?
Tone is everything here. A playful tone makes it a joke between friends, but a flat or cold tone can make it feel like a genuine slap in the face. It transforms the phrase from a tease into a statement of indifference.
All right, Matt. Thank you. So my next question is, why do younger generations use this phrase more often?
It probably comes down to how they view authenticity. Younger generations tend to value being real and owning their quirks or mistakes more than following strict traditional etiquette. It's a way of pushing back against the pressure to always be perfectly polite.
All right, Matt. Thank you. So my next question is, how is confidence connected to sorry, not sorry?
They're basically hand in hand. It takes a certain level of confidence to publicly admit you did something potentially wrong and then just shrug it off. It's less about being arrogant and more about being comfortable enough in your own skin to not let other people's expectations dictate how you feel about your actions.
All right, Matt. Thank you. So my next question is, can sorry, not sorry be empowering?
In some cases, definitely. It can be a way for people to reclaim their space or stop apologizing for things that aren't actually mistakes, like their interests, their appearance, or their boundaries. It's basically a way of saying, I'm not going to apologize for being who I am.
All right, Matt. Thank you. So my next question is, why do some people dislike this expression?
It often feels like a shortcut to avoid accountability. For people who value traditional politeness and sincerity, it can come across as arrogant or just plain dismissive. It's like you're admitting you messed up, but you're choosing not to care that you did.
All right, Matt. So my next question is, how is humor involved in the phrase?
Humor is the engine that makes the whole thing work. Without that layer of irony, the phrase would just sound mean. The humor is what turns it into a wink and a nod, signaling that you're playing with the social rules rather than just trying to be hurtful.
All right, Matt. Thank you. So my next question is, what role does pop culture play in its popularity?
It is basically the megaphone for the phrase. Music, movies, and celebrity culture love that kind of bold, unapologetic energy. When a public figure uses it, it validates the idea that it's cool to be a bit rebellious and own your choices, which then trickles down into how everyone else talks.
All right, Matt. Thank you. So my next question is, how do celebrities use sorry, not sorry?
They often use it as a branding tool. It's a way to lean into a bad boy or diva persona, making their controversy seem like intentional choices rather than mistakes. It keeps them in the conversation and makes them feel more authentic to their fans.
All right, Matt. So my next question is, what does the phrase reveal about modern communication?
It shows that we're moving toward a more informal, ironic way of interacting. We're less focused on rigid social scripts and more interested in authenticity and a bit of a wink. It basically proves that a short, punchy phrase can carry a lot of complex social meaning these days.
All right, Matt. Thank you. So my next question is sorry, not sorry, passive aggressive?
Mm, definitely can be. It's the textbook definition of passive aggressive because you're technically giving an apology, but you're immediately taking it back. It's a way of saying I'm sorry while simultaneously telling the other person their feelings don't really matter to you.
All right, Matt. Thank you. So my next question is, how does the phrase reflect changing attitudes toward apologies?
It suggests that apologies are becoming less about a formal duty and more about a choice. People are starting to prioritize their own truth and boundaries over the social pressure to just say the right thing to keep the peace.
All right, Maya. Thank you. So my next question is, can sorry, not sorry, damage relationships?
It absolutely can. If you use it when someone is actually hurting or feels betrayed, it kills trust. It tells the other person that you value your own image or your truth more than their feelings. That's a quick way to create a lot of distance between two people.
All right, Maya. Thank you. So my next question is, why do people use the phrase online more than in person?
It's Mostly about the safety net of a screen. In person, you can see the immediate look of disappointment or anger on someone's face, which makes being unapologetic a lot riskier. Online, you can just hit send and ignore the fallout for a while, which makes that kind of bold irony much easier to pull off.
All right, Maya, thank you. So my next question is, how has internet slang shaped this expression?
It's basically given the phrase its entire structure. Internet slang thrives on brevity and irony, and sorry, not sorry is the ultimate example of that. It takes a complex social interaction and shrinks it down into a short, punchy formula that's easy to meme and repeat. It's less about the actual words and more about the vibe it creates.
All right, Maya, thank you. What are common situations where people say sorry, not sorry?
Usually, when they're doing something they love that others might find weird or annoying, like eating the last slice of pizza, binge watching a show for the 10th time, or maybe posting too many vacation photos on Instagram. It's mostly used for those little guilty pleasures where the guilt isn't actually there.
All right, Maya, thank you. So my next question is, how does the phrase challenge traditional politeness?
It basically flips the script on what politeness is supposed to be. Instead of using a polite phrase to smooth things over, it uses the language of politeness to actually signal that you aren't interested in smoothing things over. It's a direct challenge to the idea that you should always prioritize other people's comfort over your own honesty.
All right, Maya, thank you. So my next question is sorry, not sorry more common in English-speaking countries?
It definitely leans that way. Since the phrase itself is an English idiom, it's most common where English is the primary language or used as a global lingua franca. That said, because of the internet and American pop culture, people all over the world who speak English as a second language use it to signal that same sarcastic, unapologetic energy.
All right, Maya, thank you. So my next question is, how do different cultures react to this phrase?
It really depends on how much a culture values collective harmony versus individual expression. In cultures where saving face and social cohesion are everything, like in many East Asian societies, this phrase would likely be seen as incredibly abrasive or even offensive. On the other hand, in more individualistic cultures, it's often viewed as a sign of confidence or just a bit of playful rebellion.
All right, Maya, thank you. So my next question is, what is the psychology behind fake apologies?
It's usually a defense mechanism. Most people do it to avoid the immediate conflict or to stop someone from being angry without actually feeling the regret. It's more about managing the other person's reaction than it is about taking responsibility.
All right, Maya, thank you. So my next question is, why do people sometimes avoid sincere apologies?
It's often because a real apology feels like a loss of power. For some, admitting they were wrong feels like admitting a weakness or giving the other person a win. There's also the fear that once you apologize, you've officially accepted the blame for everything, which can feel overwhelming or scary for people who struggle with vulnerability.
All right, Maya, thank you. So my next question is, how does this phrase express rebellion?
It's a rebellion against the perfect persona. By saying, sorry, not sorry, someone is basically refusing to play the role of the apologetic, compliant person that society expects. It's a small way of saying, I'm doing things my way, and I'm not going to let your rules make me feel guilty about it.
All right, Maya, thank you. So my next question is, can sorry, not sorry be used positively?
In a weird way, yeah, it can be a tool for self acceptance. When someone uses it to stop apologizing for their boundaries or for things that make them who they are, like a niche hobby or a personality trait, it's less about being rude and more about owning their space in the world.
All right, man. Thank you. So my next question is, how has the phrase evolved over time?
Hmm. Um, I'm not sure I follow you there. Could you clarify what you mean by how has you faced the world over time?
Yes. My question is, how has the phrase evolved over time? Hey, Maya.
It's gone from being a niche internet joke to a full-on cultural shorthand. At first, it was just a sarcastic way to post something edgy on Twitter, but now it's a legitimate way people communicate their boundaries and their identity in real life. It's evolved from simple sarcasm into a statement of self-assurance.
All right, Maya. Thank you. So my next question is, what impact has music had on the phrase's popularity?
It's been a massive boost. Music is all about mood and attitude, and Sorry Not Sorry is basically one big attitude. When artists put that kind of unapologetic energy into lyrics or song titles, it gives the phrase a beat and a melody, making it feel more like an anthem than just a comment on a screen. It turns a lack of regret into something that feels powerful and catchy.
All right, Maya. Thank you. So my next question is, how did Demi Lovato's song "Sorry Not Sorry" influence the trend?
It basically turned the phrase into a global anthem. It took that specific sassy energy and gave it a huge platform, making the phrase feel less like a random internet comment and more like a bold statement of confidence. It basically taught a whole new audience how to use that kind of unapologetic attitude as a power move.
All right, Maya. Thank you. So my next question is, what does the phrase say about modern confidence culture?
It's the reflection of this shift toward radical ownership. Instead of seeing confidence as just being good at something, we've started seeing it as the willingness to be unapologetically yourself, even if that makes some people uncomfortable. It's basically the idea that your own validation is more important than the approval of the crowd.
All right, Maya. Thank you. So my next question is sorry not sorry a sign of honesty?
In a way, yes. It's honest about the fact that you don't feel regret. Instead of lying and giving a fake apology just to keep the peace, you're being upfront about where you stand. Of course, whether that honesty is helpful or hurtful depends entirely on who you're talking to,
All right, Maya. So my next question is, why do brands sometimes use this phrase in marketing?
because it makes them feel relatable and edgy. It's a way for a company to stop sounding like a corporate robot and start sounding like a real person with a bit of an attitude. By using it, they're leaning into that. We know this is a bit much, but we love it energy, which really appeals to people who value authenticity over perfection.
Thank you, Maya. So my next question is, how is sarcasm important to understanding the phrase?
Sarcasm is the entire foundation. Without it, you're just saying you're not sorry, which can sound aggressive or mean. The sarcasm is what adds that layer of irony, turning it from a cold statement into a playful nudge. It's that wink that lets the other person know you're playing with the rules of politeness rather than just trying to be rude.
Thank you, Maya. My next question is, can this phrase creating misunderstandings?
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge risk because irony doesn't always translate well. If the other person doesn't catch the sarcasm or doesn't share your sense of humor, it just sounds like you're doubling down on a mistake without any remorse. It's a fast track to a misunderstanding.
Thank you, Maya. My next question is, how do memes help spread expressions like this?
Memes are basically the delivery system for this stuff. They take a phrase and attach it to a relatable image or a funny video, which strips away the nuance and turns it into a visual shorthand. And makes the phrase feel like a shared insider joke, and once it's a meme, it can travel across the world in seconds.
All right, Maya. My next question is, what are alternatives to saying sorry, not sorry?
Depending on the vibe you're going for, there are a few ways to play it. If you want to be a bit more direct, you could just say, I stand by it. Or something more playful, maybe no regrets. Or if you're actually feeling a bit edgy, just a simple deal with it.
All right, Maya. Thank you. So my next question is, why do people use this phrase to defend their choices?
I think you might have meant their choices, because defending your churches
Yes.
in this context doesn't quite fit the pattern we've been talking about. If it's choices, it's usually because they're protecting a part of their identity they feel is non negotiable.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is, how does body language affect the phrase's meaning?
It changes everything. A shrug or a little smirk can make it feel like a playful tease. But if you're staring someone down with a blank face, it stops being a joke and starts feeling like a challenge.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is the phrase more common among teenagers?
It definitely is. Teenagers are usually the ones most invested in defining their own identity and testing social boundaries. So, a phrase that lets them be a bit rebellious while owning their choices is basically catnip for them.
All right, Maya. My next question is the phrase more common among teenagers?
Yeah, like I just said, it really is.
All right, all right,
It's
all right.
basically the
My bad. So my next
Mhm.
question is, how do movies and TV shows use sorry, not sorry?
They usually use it to build a specific kind of character. Think of the sassy best friend or the confident anti hero. Writers use it to signal that a character is self assured, slightly rebellious, and not interested in conforming to everyone else's expectations. Makes them feel more dynamic and a bit more unpredictable.
All right, Maya, thank you. My next question is, what role does humor play in modern slang phrases?
Humor is basically the glue that holds modern slang together. It turns a simple word or phrase into a social signal. It's not just about the meaning of the words, but about showing that you're in on the joke. Makes communication feel more like a game and less like a formal transaction.
All right, Maya, my next
Still
question
got some questions.
is, what role does humor play in modern slang phrases?
You already asked that one. I'm
All
still
right,
here
all
and
right, all
ready
right.
for.
My next question is, can sorry, not sorry sound arrogant?
Oh, definitely. It can easily cross that line. If you're using it to brush off something that actually caused a lot of pain, it stops feeling like a sassy joke and starts feeling like you think you're above the other person's feelings.
All right, Maya, my next question is, how does the phrase relate to self expression?
And it's basically the ultimate tool for self expression. It lets people announce their tastes, their quirks, or their boundaries without feeling the need to shrink themselves to fit in. It's a way of saying, this is who I am, and I'm not going to apologize for it.
All right, Maya. So my next question
I'm still with you.
is, why is the phrase considered trendy?
I'm sorry, I'm not following you there. Do you mean why it's considered a 2010s phrase or something else?
Why is the phrase considered trendy?
Um, I'm still a bit lost. I think there might be a glitch in how I'm
Leave it.
hearing you.
My next
Do you
question
mean why
is
it's
my next question is, how does context change the interpretation of the phrase?
context is basically the entire game here. If you're saying it while laughing with a friend after accidentally eating their fries, it's a joke. But if you say it during a serious argument after breaking a promise, it's a declaration of war. It turns the phrase from a playful tease into a total lack of empathy, depending on where you are and who you're talking to.
All right, Maya. So my next and last question is, Can sorry, not sorry, ever be sincere?
I think the wires got crossed a bit there. Do you mean can sorry, not sorry ever be a sincere expression?
Yes.
Not in the traditional sense. Because the whole point of the phrase is to be ironic. If you're actually being sincere, you'd just say, I'm sorry, or I stand by what I did. Adding the not sorry part basically kills the sincerity and replaces it with a bit of a smirk.
All right, Matt. Thank you for giving me this information in detail, and see you soon. Take care.
You're very welcome. It was a blast diving into the sorry, not sorry world with you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.
So, viewers, this was my AI session with Maya. I hope you like it. We'll meet again in the next video. Until then, Allah Hafiz, Pakistan Zindabad.